We are on the Upper Western Arab Peninsula. Our place is about 67 hectares. Rain is short and mostly in the winter, about 250 to 275 millimeter in a normal year. The soil is light, sandy, a bit chalky. It doesn't hold the much water, and if it's bare, the wind can blow the top off. Right now we've got a few plant problems. The cool season growing window is short. The summer-autumn feeder gap is long. Paddocks aren't even. Some are better, some are thin. The soil depths change a lot. We sometimes get a false break at the start of the season. The soil is on the alkaline side, so the phosphorus doesn't work well. And windy days can strip the soil. If we are not careful, we run a mixed outfit. We keep sheep, ewes, and lambs, and we grow wheat, barley, and oat. Big picture, it's about 1/3 pasture and 2/3 crops. That spread lets us keep the farm taking over while we look after this place. Our goals for the next year are simple. First, keep over on the ground so wind doesn't take our soil, and any rain we get goes into the growing feed and the green. Second, line up for the best grass growth while the June lambling and the early milk time, so the mobs that need the most get the best paddocks when they need them. Third, get through the summer-autumn gap without hammering bare paddocks, so the next season start on good footing. I'll take this plan and talk about with an agronomist and an animal scientist to work out these details.
Well, as we all know, the Upper Western Arab Peninsula has an average annual rainfall of around 275 millimeters, with most rainfall occurring in winter and early spring. And this creates a highly seasonal pasture growth pattern, and meaning feed availability fluctuates significantly throughout the year. The soils are particularly sandy loams, shallow, and with poor moisture retention, so pasture growth potential is naturally limited. Well, to manage this problem, we propose using a flexible rotation grazing system. Like in winter and spring, and livestock are rotated through smaller paddocks to encourage even grazing and reduce pasture waste. And like in summer and autumn, stocking density is reduced to prevent overgrazing, and the supplementary feeding will be used to maintain animal condition. Will additionally maintain ground cover is essential to prevent soil erosion, especially in this fragile sandy environments. We aim to keep at least 70% of soil cover year-round to protect productivity for future seasons. And in order to meeting the livestock nutritional needs for the farmers' passions, and livestock nutritional requirements vary depending on their psychological stage. We all know, like firstly, pregnant for ewes require the highest energy and protein levels. During these critical times, they will be allocated to the highest quality paddocks to support both ewe health and the lamb survival. And like secondly, the other kind of is the growing lambs. They need high protein feed to reach market weights quickly, and their diets will be supplemented with legumes or grain-based rations when natural pasture quality declines. And other kind of animal is the dry sheep and cattle can graze on lower quality forage, but still require access to sufficient recovery and clean water to maintain like rumen function. To improve overall feed quality and the pasture, we will integrate annual legumes such as medics and subflowers into the system. And these species are drought tolerant, provide high protein tolerance, and naturally fix nitrogen, which benefits soil fertility and long-term productivity. Well, about the supplementary feeding strategies, because pasture growth is unreliable in the low rainfall region, supplementary feeding plays a critical role. Well, in late summer and early autumn, we will provide loopings, barley, or hay to maintain livestock body condition and meet energy needs. And during lambing and lactation, ewes will receive additional protein supplements to support milk production. And mineral lakes will be offered year-round to correct deficiencies in calcium, phosphorus, and the trace elements, which are common in these calcareous sandy soils. We also plan to explore using the pelleted drought rations during extreme dry years, ensuring animal welfare and maintain breeding performance when natural pastures fail. Well, because young lambs cannot effectively graze in their early life, especially within the first 4 to 6 weeks after birth, they must rely on alternative feeding strategies. Like we can giving, because of the giving low rainfall, poor quality sandy soils, and the need to control production costs. And firstly, we just propose early creep feeding. Just provide a creep feeder with a small gate that allows lambs but no ewes to access high energy, high protein feed, like feed options like cracked barley or oats and loopings for protein. And the benefit for this is lambs can adapt faster to solid feed and reduce the pressure on limited pastures.
I have already understood your situation. For species, I suggest the mixed throw weights. Strandmatic should be the base legume, which with the drought tolerance and can regenerate each year. Alongside that, mulch provides a quick growth and high quality proteins. Then we add wheat, oats, and barley, which block up the weeds and give the soil protective covers. This way, during winter and springs, we will have the good grazing, and the flowering crops also benefits from the nitrogen fixed by the legumes. You mentioned not all paddocks are equals. On the shallow and the poor quality area where aerial pastures do not perform well, I recommend planting the saltbush. Saltbush is the perennial shrub that's extremely hardy, that provides the green forage in late summers and autumns when fruit usually scales. That's rich in proteins in minerals, but it should be fed together with the grains and stubbles to balance the energy. So that the better pastures carry annual mixed pasture, while the polar areas carry stubbush as the long-term feed security. To make legume more, the right input is essential. Phosphorus fertilizers is important because they are very lax in the phosphorus, and the medic and the witches would mutilate without it. Seeds should also be inoculated with the rhizobius before throwing. With these steps, legumes can fix around 40 to 80 kilograms of the nitrogen per hectare for each year. This means the following the wheat and the barley crops can save about 20 to 30% of the nitrogen fertilizers. Carrots can get a small starter dose of the nitrogen, but we need to keep this low to avoid suppressing the legumes. Limes should be monitored too to keep the pH stable. In terms of the tillage, I recommend moving towards no-tills or minimum tillage wherever possible. Keeping the stubbles on the surface protects the soil from the wind serrations, conserving the moisture, and make better use of the limited rainfalls. That also reduces falls and labor costs, while helping both crops and the pasture establish more reliable in soil. And weed management is another key part. The main weeds there are catkrops and the wild radish. It's just that applied per emergent herbicides after the first autumn's rains established quick around ground covers from the medic and cereals to shut out weeds and use the planted grazings to stop weed settings. Rotations with the cereals also break their life cycles. Saltbrush contributes too. Then, looking at the environmental benefits, these systems keep the soil covered, reduce erosions, and improve the water use efficiencies. Legumes reduce fertilizer dependence. Saltbush stable the soil with the deep rows, and the livestock manure cycles nutrition back to the backdog. So we are producing fruit and grain while also looking after the land. In other words, this is a low-cost, high-effective system that balances the food supplies, co-productivity, and sustainability.